Okay. Great. So where were we?
I was just saying, well, so you presented the platform, and it's really now about incentivizing teachers to actually come join us, to share their knowledge, to share their expertise, empower teachers all around the world to share their passion for teaching, and in this way empower students to continue unleashing potential. And you were talking about the incentivization process in terms of the badges, and like so the first 50 teachers get a special award. So they can sign up. We'll make sure to they can sign up on our page, on your page. So if you were to share with us, what is your dream for the next 5 years? What is your dream for this platform? To share their expertise, empower teachers all around the world to share their passion for teaching, and in this way empower students to continue.
Yeah, our dream for this platform is that we have like thousands of teachers connecting and sharing their knowledge, and also having like the experts in that platform, so that any teacher can get in and ask the expert in any topic about education, from flipping the classroom or educational models or online education. So it will be a place where the knowledge of teachers will be in there completely free, and they could share it completely for free and be connected. We cannot hear.
Interesting to see teachers collaborate not only, within their own structures and with their own ways of teaching, but really cross countries, and kind of seeing like, how can a teacher in Kenya help a teacher in Bangladesh to do a particular workshop. Even like, even this Tweet a Dream workshop, it would have been amazing for teachers to actually share best practices, like what kind of environment they create to get the best results. That would be very interesting. What do you think is the biggest challenge teachers have right now to help students unleash their dreams in Mexico?
I think the biggest challenge for teachers is making this change in educational models. In Mexico, we need to bring technology also to kids. It's one of our biggest challenges, and we are working on that. Bringing tablets or bringing smartphones to kids. And I think also around the world, the thing we need to change is how the class is given, and teachers need to learn and to help each other to change these models, because I think that the right model, we are still looking for it and making it like personalized education for each kid, and that's I think it's like the biggest thing that teachers are going to work in the next years.
I saw a lot of the dreams that were tweeted from Mexico were actually on tablets. It was interesting to see. They were probably holding the tablets with their nice drawings. So that's very interesting. What do you think, from a teacher perspective, you currently have 100,000 teachers using Territorium?
Yeah, we in Territorium is not 100,000 teachers. We have 100,000 users, 100,000 students on Territorium, or students and teachers. And what teachers are doing in our platform, and what they are like using it, it's like they create projects for their kids. They create like cases and problems that kids need to solve. They really create an environment for kids, like to learn by playing, and not only by watching or downloading content. It's like completely a place for kids to participate, and the teachers will become a mentor of these kids.
That's great. Yeah. So Can you give maybe like share a story about like a particular case where Territorium has worked really well?
Yeah, we have like several cases. There are like one case that we love. We work with our university, Tec de Monterrey. We brought 2,000 smartphones for free to very low income uh, schools in Mexico, and we gave that smartphones. They had our platform. They got a lot of connection between kids, between teachers, and after 1 year, what we found is that kids went 20% better in their mathematics tests, and they were like developing a lot of they were like sharing a lot of content in our platform, and like more like sentimental, not only numbers in that story. I remember one day I went to one of the schools where we gave the smartphones for free, and it was not only like Territorium by itself, but it was also like giving technology to kids. I remember like I was in the back hearing a teacher giving the class, and then a student looking at Google, looking at other platforms, looking for the information that teacher was saying, and like asking the teacher, "Hey, I saw this in Google. What do you think?" And it was really interesting to see how they were using technology, and they were like connecting outside their classroom and helping the class by connecting outside their classroom. It was beautiful for me. I almost cried.
Oh, that was a good. It seems like technology plays a very important role. Um, and I think, with this Tweet a Dream campaign and Territorium, um, there's a beautiful way to kind of amplify certain things and really create a certain social change. Where do you see yourself um, in like the next 5, 10 years? You have now your experience of building this platform. You stepped up. You inspired people. You run this campaign in Mexico on a very large scale. Where do you see yourself in 5, 10 years?
I see Territorium like a company not only developing a platform, but a company completely helping all the areas of education, and our platform like adapting to the needs of every area and helping teachers, schools change their models. That's how I see Territorium. I see myself helping a lot of causes around education. I love education. Is what I do, and I see myself not only in Territorium but also in a lot of foundations and a lot of movements like Twitter Dream, OurFuture.World, helping to encourage education and encourage, in the case of Mexico, encourage Mexican kids to know that they can do things, that they can develop their creativity, Mexico and around the world, and see they can do things by themselves and make their dreams come true. I think that's how I see myself in 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So it's very important to. I think everything really starts with belief in yourself, and the question is really kind of who is the one, like if you don't have role models, if you don't have a supportive home environment, who's the one that's going to inject that hope and really kind of have children understand that they should believe in themselves and they are capable and they all have the ability to unleash their inner genius, and genius can be defined in many different ways. It has nothing to do with a PhD in physics,
Yeah.
but acting on potential. So if you look backwards and kind of see, you certainly believe in yourself. You keep going, lots of things happening, but from the outside it all sounds very easy. However, I'm pretty sure you run into all kinds of obstacles, barriers that you had to push through, whether that was on a government level, whether that was through schools or whatnot. Can you share maybe an example of a big obstacle that you were facing, to show us to give a little bit maybe of advice to students that are currently watching us. You know, how did you overcome that, and how did you, like, what got you to continue acting on your dreams despite that obstacle?
Yeah, we had a lot of obstacles when we began Territorium. When we began, we were in high school. So imagine a bunch of kids going with deans of universities telling them, hey, education, how you work it isn't right. You need to use this platform. And they saw like only a kid of 16 years old telling them that. So it was like really an obstacle to get there and to make them help us also. But I think in that obstacle we had, we always look forward to find people to help us and to understand how we were thinking, and we got a lot of mentors. That's why we think a lot, like teachers are the way to help our kids, and these mentors helped us to develop our dream. And also a big challenge we had. We created our first company in high school. It was around education, and this company had a different business model, and the company broke. And we were like, we could say like, this is all, and continue with our university. I just graduated last year, and my partner haven't graduated from school. So I think that what we could do in that moment was like saying, hey, I will continue with my studies and stop the company. But what you need to look forward, and what we thought in that moment was the purpose. We always had our purpose in mind. We didn't made our company for getting money or for having being an event. We made our company focused on a purpose, and our purpose is changing education. And we always talk on our purpose and think this is our purpose, and we need to look forward to accomplish it. And that's how we continue with our company, and it began to grow, and now is Territorium that it's growing and helping education in Mexico and Latin America.
Helping them empower each other to unleash, potential and dreams of children. So thank you so much. We'll definitely have lots of people sign up. Make sure to check out the link both on OurFuture.World and on Territorium's website. You can find an access code. The first 50 teachers that sign up will receive a certain award. The ones that will actually be engaged, they can win a special batch. It will be a very rewarding experience, and I think it'll be extremely exciting to collaborate with teachers from so many different countries around the world. We have to continue because I have 2 additional speakers that are still here. But thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us from Mexico.
Thanks very much. Have a nice day, and thank you for inviting us to this project. We love this project, and we will continue working with you to unleash kids' dreams.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. So up next, Florian, are you here?
Awesome. Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much to Carlos for announcing the new platform that we're launching. This is super exciting. Can't wait to see this live. But for now, we still have 2 speakers left here. One, Ruba, was unfortunately not able to join earlier. So if that's okay, we would just at least have a few minutes. I hope, Ocean, you're okay with that. You're fine with that if we just do a couple of minutes with Ruba, and then we'll be right back with you. Ruba, can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, yes.
Hello?
Loud and clear.
Excellent.
That's amazing that you were still able to make it. So sorry for the early difficulties.
Yes.
That's good. Yes. Do you have a video as well?
Yes, but can you see me?
No, can't see you yet. Let me see if your video is
my
enabled.
camera is on.
Well, at least we can hear you. It's so good that we still have you here at least for a few moments. It would have been great if we had you early for a bit longer, but now at least for a few. Could you briefly tell us where you're calling from and what are you up to?
I'm calling from Amman, Jordan, in the Middle East, and I'm working on clean technology sector development in Jordan. So I'm basically focusing on creating jobs out of green, turning green into opportunities for young people in Jordan. For those who do not know, Jordan's majority of population is basically youth. Under 30 years of age. Amman in particular has around 60% of its population under 25. I'm an engineer by education. We have about 120,000 engineers in Jordan, which is one of the highest percentages in the world. We invest in our people, so investing in brains is what we do in Jordan. We have very scarce natural resources, and that's why our young people are our real treasure. Out of the 120,000 engineers, 25% are females at least, and their participation in the workforce is very low. So my passion that I found and my dream is how to empower those young female engineers to find their way in developing Jordan. And we export also a lot to the neighboring countries, to the MENA region. Many of the GCC countries actually count on Jordanian engineers a lot. So this is in a nutshell my focus areas. I do a lot of mentorship and voluntary work, and I encourage innovation, which is also linked to our knowledge economy based in Jordan.
How did you get that passion for trying to build a greener future?
Well, it's a bit funny. I'll share a personal story. So in Jordan, you don't really pick what you want to study in college. Basically, your scores in the high school will decide what field you're gonna get in. So most of the people would like their kids to become doctors or engineers. It's kind of a prestigious jobs or professional path. For me, it just happened that I entered the civil engineering faculty, and I specialized in environmental engineering. So at the beginning, I really did not pick to become an environmental engineer, although I was environmentally conscious. But then you can say that I fell in love with the specialization, and I started turning it into opportunities in Jordan because there are many other priorities, social and economic. Environment was not really high top on the agenda of the government, or in general, there's a lack of awareness about its importance. So people see it as a burden, see it as a luxury, and really in the past few years we have turned this into an opportunity. We're talking now about green economy and potential for green jobs for young Jordanians.
Awesome. So that's interesting. So basically, your dream came to you rather than you searched it, or maybe at some point you started searching, you developed a passion. But is that correct? Am I saying that right? That your dream that you're living now basically found you? Ruba? Ruba, can you hear us? Okay. All right. Well, since we're already in the time of Ocean's interview, maybe we can bring you on board here. I can see if Ruba comes back and this. Oh no, she just left. All right. So this is now the moment here to transition over to Ocean. I'm going to put you up on the big screen here. A big welcome to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I'm also going to hand over to Jared here, who is your buddy for now and going to bother you with a lot of questions, I hope. Is that correct? Jared, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm actually, Ocean and I are going to talk for a little bit, and then we've been saving up a surprise performance for everyone, because Ocean is not only a very talented entrepreneur and writer, but she's also an amazing singer. So wanted to give her a global platform to share her voice with the world. I know many of the people tweeting out today probably want to be singers or want to be performers, and she could tell you that you could just do it and start singing and use tools like Hangout on Air to do it. So welcome, Ocean. Sorry for the little delay over there.
No worries.
And you're calling in from California, right?
Yeah, I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Awesome. Yeah, so we've had quite the marathon today. We've had different Tweet a Dream ambassadors calling in and doing different interviews. We've had a few 2 billion under 20 contributors. We've had some Plus Social Good ambassadors and a couple of other UN Foundation representatives all chiming in. Had some technical issues during the day, but I think overall it's been a really positive event. And I just want I want you to share a little bit more about how you've been able to start finding and acting on your passions at a young age. And I guess let's start there. You founded a nationally syndicated youth magazine in the U.S. You are now a singer. You have started a business. You've done a lot of really cool things. Tell us what really motivated you from the start, and maybe what your dreams were early on.
So I feel like everything that I'm working on sort of supports every other endeavor in a really sort of incredible way. This all sort of started when I was, I think, 14. I was an ambassador for the Global Youth Peace Summit, which is based in Austin, and I went to India with them when I was 14 to work in a slum school outside of New Delhi, and it was my first international trip alone. I mean, my mom was a conflict journalist, so I was raised all over the world. But then to go and experience this slum school outside of New Delhi when I was 14, it sort of just blew my mind. And so I facilitated a photo project where I gave cameras to young girls and asked them to document their own lives, because I felt like there's this massive barrier of disconnect, especially with documentarians that may come into a really impoverished community and expect to tell the stories of the young people. And instead I wanted to flip it around and be like, can you tell your story for us? And so I put those photos on display and, tried to curate some awareness for those young women, and it was incredible. But I realized that I wanted to do more. I didn't want to just reach a dozen girls in this school. I wanted to reach millions of girls. And so with this sort of global awareness that was gifted to me through my unique upbringing in, Central America and parts of Asia, I realized that the best way to do this was to really tap into the cultural platforms that started to define how we as young women, how we as young men interacted with, entrepreneurship and, talent, and how we define for ourselves what it means to be talented, what it means to be skillful, because that's truly, I think, where we can either completely, succeed in our passions, or where we can become really dissatisfied with what we have been given. Was to really integrate into those cultural platforms. So when I was, I think, 14, 15, right when I got home, actually, my mom actually launched a national publication, Origin, and I dropped out of middle school and became the creative director of her magazine for a year. And did online school and was running the magazine with her, and we took it from a local magazine in Texas to a fully national best-selling publication, and to this day it's actually the second best-selling magazine in Whole Foods and a dozen other retailers across the country. And so within that time frame, we launched another publication, which is now in the top 5, and then a third magazine. And so at this point, we've got a lot of magazines flying around, and I realized that, I was the global youth editor for the other 3, and I realized I wanted to do more. I wanted to have a voice that was really geared towards young people. And as a 17-year-old girl, when I walk up to a newsstand, it's all body image, it's all boys, it's all, shopping and prom dresses and nail polish. And I realized, like, for a young girl or for a young man who, where do you go to really see these voices that are constantly presenting themselves to you? Where do you go to find those same voices touching on issues that don't receive the attention they deserve? So it was out of that, it's a very long-winded answer, but it was out of that I was sort of sparked to start a youth culture magazine. Having worked in this industry since I was 14, I realized I had all the skills and resources in front of me, and all I needed to do was really bring together a community of people who were passionate about social change in this millennial generation. And so last August was the first issue launch, and we went fully national for the first issue. And it was just incredible. We got stars, everyone from Alicia Keys to Richard Branson to Jason Mraz, Questlove, talking about everything from sex trafficking to HIV and AIDS to net neutrality. And so these are like celebrities you wouldn't expect to be talking about anything other than like when their next album's coming out and the next plot twist on their TV show. And instead they're talking about real issues. And so that's what really sparked a lot of interest in this millennial generation of young people who just aren't exposed to those issues. And so I actually decided, with this magazine, how can we make more of an impact? So we're launching the Real Teen Ambassadors program, where young people dedicate 3 hours a month to social service, and then we spotlight them in the magazine. And then we're also, developing the SocialGood app, which is going to launch later this year. But then as far as like the singing front, I know this is a very long answer, but it was actually at the Peace Summit when I was 14 that I had the courage to sing, because there are so many incredibly talented people out there, but I think that the definition of talent is very diverse, but at the same time very singular, especially in like Western society. It's not everyone is incredibly gifted in their own ways, and I was so ashamed and embarrassed and scared. I couldn't imagine singing in front of, 15,000 people, much less my mom. And everything shifted for me when I realized that everything I was creating was from my heart and for my heart. And I know that sounds kind of hippie and silly, but I realized the only times I ever really doubted myself was when I was concerned with what other people were thinking about me. And that doesn't just apply to music, that applies to everything else. Especially when you're following your passion and your dream, it's terrifying. And I think the only moments in which you are really capable of maybe stepping the wrong direction is when you're not focused on why you're doing it, from what really sets you on fire on the inside.
So I think the takeaway there would be, for anyone listening in and for anyone who's been participating in Tweet a Dream all over the world, would be vocalize your dreams and vocalize your goals, and then don't listen to what anyone else says, because that's just going to jeopardize you actually going after those dreams and making it a reality. And we'll hear in probably 4 or 5 minutes or so that you've done that and you've been doing really well at it. The second thing I wanted to touch on or kind of go back to and magnify was your use of pop culture in order to help more people be aware of social issues. So can you touch on the methodology there a little bit more and the thinking behind that, and maybe share some ways that people listening in who have different ideas for social movements and nonprofits and for good endeavors can you also potentially utilize pop culture and similar methods that you do to push their dreams and ideas forward?
Yeah, totally. So one thing that I realized, having grown up in a very diverse culture, was that when you hand someone a pamphlet about fracking or sex trafficking or mountaintop removal or shark finning, they're like, what is this? Like, why do you want me to read this? What relevance does this have to me in my life? And so for anyone that's like directly engaged in some form of social good, to have that sort of response when the work that you're doing is sort of received in that way, like for me, that's what really sparked my interest in how can we utilize pop culture. Because when you have that sort of response on these huge major issues, whether it's education or tech or whatever it is, like you're not always going to get the most welcoming response, no matter what audience you're looking to market towards. And so I realized that it's essential to utilize the culture that your audience already identifies with in order to create a new one. And so for me, I wanted to create a seat at the table in mainstream media for issues that don't receive the attention they deserve. And the way that I went about doing that was, say the girl that, or guy, it's funny, some of the people we have on our covers, they're sort of like cult figures in there with their audiences. And you type in like, Cody Simpson or Alicia Keys or Jason Mraz, and you see like hundreds of fan accounts, and they're just all day, every day, they're just tweeting like as a fan of this person. And I was like, these people are also representing causes. I don't think that there's any person in any sort of spotlight that doesn't represent any sort of cause or campaign, but we're just not asking the right questions. So I realized for me, it was actually really easy to tap into that pop culture platform, but then ask totally different questions. So the way that I like to think of it is it's the same packaging but different content, and that's how I've been able to engage a lot of young women and men who might not have otherwise been interested in these issues that we're facing as a global community if they weren't packaged in the form of pop culture. And so if you are working to, working towards some sort of issue or goal, and it's not maybe like the fanciest or I guess most glamorous thing in the world, you can try and find a way to integrate into your audience by utilizing what they already identify with. And then there are different resources to be able to tap into those networks, but for the most part, you really have to identify, if I'm trying to target this group of people, what do they already identify with, and then how can I align my goals and vision with what they're already interested in? And then you'll see just radical change in the feedback that you receive.
Yeah, very cool. And thank you for that. I think it would be really cool to kind of close out this marathon Google Hangout on Air with a little special performance from you. And we got 15 minutes or really however long you want to sing for. I'm sure people will be tweeting in encore. But what do you want to do? One or two songs for us? And
Yeah,
if so, like what songs do you want to do? And
it's only like 3 minutes, so if there's another question you want to throw at me before we get into that, that would be cool too.
You can do more than one song. You don't just have to do one song.
I like to leave you wanting a little bit more. That's my plan. I'm just kidding. I can do 2 songs. That's totally cool.
Well, what have you seen from your community then? You talked a little bit about community. Obviously, with 2 billion under 20, and you're a part of our community there, you've seen kind of the power, the ability for community to do more. We've seen it with the work that Carolina and Florian and all the OurFuture.World people have done with Tweet a Dream, and they got 50 ambassadors from all over the world to get hundreds of thousands of students tweeting their dreams and really working on these kind of thought processes. And same with the UN Foundation, same with Plus SocialGood, which was based out of an entire community effort. What have you seen from your community, and kind of what are you really proud of from the community that you've made?
I'm really proud of all of our readers that have, maybe picked up the magazine to read Cody Simpson's interview and then put down the magazine passionate about, solutions to sex trafficking or net neutrality. I think the willingness in so many of the readers of Real Magazine, I think, is that, they might not always know, picking up the magazine, that it is geared towards social good. And so, I get messages. I got a message from a girl in Edmond, Oklahoma, and she was like, I drove like 20 miles to find your magazine and just to read this one interview with this one famous person, and then I learned about all these other issues, and I'm so excited, and I loved all the call to actions at the bottom of the articles, and I've already signed like 15 petitions on this issue, and can I come intern with you in New York or LA or wherever you are? And it was just like, getting messages like that is such an incredible validation of, it might have this appeal of pop culture, but when you open it, there's so much goodness and so much content. And so for that to be received in the way that I've hoped, to see my readers just super excited about things that they didn't have a lot of awareness on before, just because there isn't room for it currently in mainstream media, I mean, that's really the most rewarding part of this. And I'm so proud of the community that has embraced the magazine, and really it covers so many different issues and topics. And for someone to pick up the magazine for Misha Collins and then walk away, a part of another organization on the second, the page after that, I really couldn't ask for anything more. So I'm super proud of that impact that it's made, and it's building a community. It's not just you're picking up the magazine and you're reading an interview, but you're reading an interview and then finding out how you can become involved in a cause that might be close to that person's heart or that organization. And so I think being able to track the impact. You read an article, you click a link, you do this, you do that. It's you can really watch this trail of impact that just starts from someone buying a magazine that I think you couldn't before. So I'm really proud of that.
And it must be interesting for the celebrities that you profile as well to give them a chance to get their voice out about certain issues as well, because normally they are being hit up for, oh, what's the next thing in your TV show, or hey, what is your new song about, and what does it mean, or who are you dissing in your new song?
Yeah.
So I think it's probably well appreciated that they get the platform on such a scale to share what they really care about.
And it's something we disclose when we start interviewing, is that we're going to put the full transcript in. So, it gets really funny and really raw. I mean, even my last cover interview, Joseph Morgan was like, this is the coolest interview I've ever done. He's like, this is no one's ever asked me these questions before. And it's I'm asking, what makes you vulnerable? What does love mean to you? If you could say one thing to everyone on the planet, what would it be? And so no one really gets these questions thrown at them, and we don't give them a lot of prep, so we get them on the spot, and we really get to see inside of them. And I think that people want that reflected back in their culture, because suddenly it makes it okay for us to be vulnerable in a way that impacts the people around us in a positive manner. And so I think that to be able to reflect that back onto a culture that previously condemned vulnerability, that condemned being yourself, I think is an incredible opportunity that we get to utilize with these celebrities that never got the chance to talk about what they're passionate about.
So one final question for you before we find out more about your song choices. Have you ever sang before to a Google Hangout on Air concert audience?
I have not, and I have this fear that it's just going to freeze, because I make weird faces when I sing. I've learned this, and I haven't been quite vain enough to just stand in front of a mirror and fix my face when I sing. So my main fear is that it's just going to freeze and I'm going to be making a super strange face. But it's, new things are good, so I'm excited.
Yeah, so let's get into it. I think we would love to hear one or two songs from you, and feel free to kind of share the meaning behind the songs before and or after you perform them. And then you're pretty much wrapping it up. We're gonna invite all the other partners back on to give a quick goodbye afterwards, and then everyone will continue the rest of the day tweeting their dreams, and then we'll go into June 2nd, as some of the parts of the world already have, and we'll just continue acting on our dreams now that we've vocalized them and tweeted about them. So,
Very
floor
cool.
is yours, Ocean.
I'm super honored to be closing this out with music. So this song that I prepared, I wrote it a couple years ago, and I thought that it was sort of symbolic on International Children's Day. So it's called Age of My Flesh, and I wrote it on the ukulele, but I'm going to play it on the guitar. And it really represents anyone who's ever felt like, maybe their wisdom or their meaning or their purpose can't really be quantified into the age of this, this body that you're inhabiting. And so I think that message resonates with a lot of young people who are so inspired to really go out and make an impact in the world, but are constantly faced with, you're too young to do this, or you haven't had enough experience in this industry to be able to do what you want to do. And so I tried to translate that feeling into music. So this is the song that I wrote for that purpose. Okay. All right. So just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if it freezes or something. But this is Age of My Flesh, and then my other single is actually on iTunes, and the official music video just released, which I'm super excited about. But this is Age of My Flesh. People say I was your age way back In the day, you're just a child, they say. People say, take your time. Go outside and play. You're just a baby, and it's killing me. You have never been this old. Never had to brave such cold. Dressed in your summer clothes, 'cause there are things you gotta do to keep that roof for yourself and your mama too. But I know who I am, where I plan to go, 'cause the age of my flesh ain't the age of my soul. I'm a child, but I'm also fully grown. The age of my flesh ain't the age of my soul. So where do the memories come from? Where are they stored in the brain? If mystery like this still exists, then I guess it's fair to say wisdom doesn't grow on trees. Your gray hair means nothing to me. Show me your soul, and then I'll see. Show me your soul, and then I'll see. The age of our flesh ain't the age of our souls. This is something we will. This is something we will all come to know. The age of our flesh ain't the age of our souls. Yay! So,
Carolina's snapping pictures.
I keep my eyes open for one.
Do you want to do one more? Maybe you just came out with a music video. This is the love letter to myself, right?
Yes, I can play that song, but it sounds a little different. All right, it sounds a little different on guitar, so just
Acoustic version.
But so this song was inspired. This is the first song I ever wrote, actually, and I wrote it when I was 14 at the Global Youth Peace Summit, and I realized that all the music I was hearing was like about a boy or about a girl. It was about something outside of ourselves, and I realized that my fear of sharing my voice was because I really hadn't learned to love my voice, and I feel that you can't do one without the other. And so for me, this song was like coming home to myself, like a mantra to really offer myself compassion and authenticity no matter where life takes me. And I know that sounds kind of cheesy, but it's like, you know, whatever it is for you, you have to have a mantra that brings you back to yourself, and this song is that for me. Some will find you easy, and some will find you hard on this journey through your heart. But you know who you are beneath all that flesh and bone. My darling, you are home. And I will love you when your heart is in its shell. I'll forgive you when you can't forgive yourself, and I will hold you when I'm all that you hide, and I will be around if you ever need a hand, and you know who you are. Beneath all that flesh and bone, my darling, you are home. So rest assured, my dear, I will love, love. I will love, love. I will love, love. I will love, love. And you're on a special journey that I nowhere. So if you ever need help, I'll be around. Yeah, we can share laughter, we can share tears. I'll meet you in the middle on our hopes and dreams and fears. So rest assured, my dear, I will love you.
Woo! Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for having me. That was exciting.
Yeah. So Florian, Carolina, you want to come on and let's all close this out? It's been quite an amazing day.
It has. I'm here. Is Carolina there as well?
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you
That
so
was
much.
a very special way to end this this amazing day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. If before you leave, would you like to share anything else with the world, with the next generation? Any one piece of advice that you want to give them on their way, following their dreams and hopefully turning them into reality?
Yes, and this isn't exactly what I thought I would be sharing, but you know, it is really easy to say, you know, don't listen to anyone else and follow your dreams no matter what, but I think it's also really important to have people in your inner circle that hold you accountable to your dreams, because it's easy to get distracted, and there's you know, there's so much going on all the time, and we're taught as a culture to have really short attention spans to be able to do a lot of things at once, and so I think that you know exactly who you are, but at the same time, you know, align with people who understand your vision enough to hold you accountable so that you can make the most impact in the world with the dreams and the path that you're on.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So find people that you admire, find people that hold your values, follow them, and make sure that they hold you accountable. That's definitely what everyone should be doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So are we going to do a little wrap-up then here, Jared, Carolina, for this wonderful day that we had? Ocean, you're welcome to stay here with us. We want to just do a little review of what we had today. We've had over 8 hours of broadcasting here, more than, I think, 18, because we had some additional speakers coming in. We had 18 speakers, I think, coming in, young leaders that are showing what can happen if you follow your dreams, if you dream big and try to turn them in reality. We've had an uncountable amount of tweets today. We were trending on Twitter, so that's fantastic. Really amazing response that we got globally. It's been really tweets coming out of places.
Didn't the account like shut down at one point?
Yeah. It did. Yeah. It did actually twice, I think.
We went to 4 different accounts. They all crashed.
Yeah, we've been tweeting, retweeting so much. It's actually gotten Twitter's attention, and they
every several seconds. So
yeah. So I can only say this has been an incredibly exciting day with so many things happening. It's going to take me a while first to really understand what this whole day was about, but seeing everything that was going on, I think everyone had a wonderful time, a great inspirational day that we can look back at. But it's mostly, of course, meant to make us look forward. So for now, that was my words for now. I'm going to hand over to Carolina. Maybe we can do a short round of wrapping up of this day, and of course we want to mention our wonderful ambassadors and partners as well. Carolina, are you going to take over?
Sure.
Awesome.
So I just want to say thank you, a huge thank you to all the people that have supported us. We have been asking them on all fronts. So many people joined in from so many different countries. It's been absolutely incredible. How much you can do when you join forces together. I think it was absolutely beautiful, and seeing the excitement of kids tweeting out and drawing their dreams to the future. It's just beyond what we could wish for. Even now, tweets are coming in. It's actually midnight right now in the Netherlands. A couple of kids just tweeted out their dreams because they couldn't go to sleep before finishing off the drawings, which was really cute. I think next it'll be incredibly exciting to actually dissect all these dreams. There's so many different types of dreams that have been tweeted. Today we couldn't even keep up with the amount, so we haven't actually fully processed everything what was out there. But it was incredible. So, and all this, of course, happened only because we had so many ambassadors in 50 different countries that really stepped up, took out the time of their busy lives, and really kind of went out to these schools, convinced all these partners. and really build something special. And I'm excited to continue building on top of this amazing community with all these people that we have currently involved.
Thank you, Carolina. All right, Jared, your last words. Well, we can't hear you. You're gonna have to turn on your mic if you want to say some last words.
All of our partners, from the UN Foundation plus SocialGood, and then obviously you guys at OurFuture.World. This wouldn't be happening without you, and glad that 2 billion under 20 was allowed to play a small part in doing the online event. It's been quite a journey. I think we all learned quite a lot today, both from what was happening offline and what was happening online. Kind of what Ocean said earlier, I think it's really all about community. It's about finding the people that can support you in your dreams and hold you accountable to actually make them a reality. So I think what was really cool from today is that we've now located people from all over the world who are conscious about their dreams and have vocalized those. So using a very easy hashtag, tweet a dream, you can locate everyone around the world that can potentially hold you accountable. And I think it would be great if we not only made this a one-day thing, but started doing this more often and really pushing each other more in the future. So I think it's great visibility that we've all found who's vocalizing their dreams around the world. I think it's going to be something that's a priority of all of ours to then take these videos and interviews and edit them and release them so that more people can view them if they weren't able to catch the live stream today, and just continue tweeting our dreams and really living them, taking them off of Twitter. So yeah, I'm really happy how this day went, and again, thank you all to you guys, thank you to our partners, thank you to all of the speakers and ambassadors who joined us.
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, so it was a very special opportunity to be working with you together. That was a great way that we could combine our visions and sort of the goals that we're working towards. And same with the speakers that we've all had today. Thank you so much for sharing your stories, also in a personal way. I mean, today has been mostly about sharing personal ups and downs and very personal advice, and we don't do that often enough, I think. And today was one of those moments where everyone opened up and shared, and we even finished with this incredible performance. So I'm really excited about seeing where this is going to take us next, and this was only the first year. Who knows where we're going to go next?
No, one thing is for sure, it's just the beginning of something very special, and we're excited to have all you guys on board and have as many people join in. And of course, on July 28th, that's when shared books come out, and we'll be able to read even more stories and get even more inspired by young people around the world who are doing incredible things.
Awesome. All right. Then I think it's time to wrap up. Go check out the upcoming book. Go to iTunes, buy Ocean's songs, and definitely also visit our website on Twitter and see the amazing amount of tweets that has been going over the news feeds today, and be inspired what the next generation is dreaming of around the world. All right. I guess I'll call this. Yeah.
Alrighty, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I would say it's a wrap. Thank you so much, and see you soon, latest next year again.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.